It did, and there's some setbacks where it's like, is this really happening? Because it feels like this is my purpose and this is what I'm supposed to do, and that is like, uh, I see how society is on how they're suppressing people. Hey, Darrell, how's it going?
Oh, good, man. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. All right. Well, I've already hit the record button. We go ahead and get started.
All right, that sounds good.
All right. So you got the floor, man. You go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do.
Oh, hey, I'm Rhett. Co-founder of Humanity Interface. I don't know, is there an echo on your end?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Uh,
It's we
yeah.
the people ecosystem, which is everything that already exists, but instead of corporate or owned, it's the people owned, and everything works together to help grow humanity and not just to suppress us.
Okay. Cool. And where you located?
I'm in South Carolina.
South Carolina. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So I understand that, you've hit some hard times like in the depression stages of your life. Is that true?
Yeah, I had lived with, well, still living with depression
Hmm.
my whole life, and but I always knew that there was something different that I had to do, my purpose and passion, and in 2018, 2019 is when something really ignited. And then in 2020, when we moved here, is just when I got connected to Source and everything was coming together on what my purpose is and helping to build everything.
So when did you realize that, something needed to change in that aspect of your depression?
It's I don't know. One day it just started and then it kept growing and growing. And I just been evolving on, say, my back history and what I've been going through and just
Yeah. Did that like your businesses and stuff like that, did that help you, phase through your, even though you're still going through it, like the depression stages, but did that, you know, going through like the businesses and stuff like that, did that actually kind of put you at ease at least?
it did. And there's some setbacks where it's like, is this really happening? Because it feels like this is my purpose and this is what I'm supposed to do, and that is like, uh, I see how society is on how they're suppressing people,
Oh yeah.
and it's just and,
Hmm.
and as more I progress and press and investigate on contacting organizations and companies, and they say one thing and they actually do another, and I had a couple setbacks, but I'm like, this is what it is. This is what I'm supposed to be. And even though there's negative things that's still occurring, but there's a reason why. And I just keep going forward.
Yeah, you keep fighting the fight, and
Hmm.
that's the most important thing. Because we can all sit here and believe right now that with everything that's going on in the world, we're just sitting ducks. We're sitting ducks, and
Yeah.
we're trying to, we're trying to navigate through all of the changes that's happening right now, and you know, we're actually just stuck. Everything is going up. Everything is it's no, no relief, no type of pressure to kind of, give us like some space to actually,
Yeah,
get through
because
these.
you work hard and you get
Mhm.
where?
Exactly. And it's like, oh my gosh, like you have a mission and you have a
Uh,
purpose.
yeah,
And when you have these missions and these purposes, there's always something that will, you know, put you back. And you just said it. You had setbacks. And I'm pretty sure you still have setbacks now.
yeah,
Like, it's like, okay, what's the next steps gonna be? These are questions that you ask. What are the next steps? Or, how am I gonna be able to do this? How am I gonna be able to do that? And why do you feel like that, you yourself or people in general, like, struggle to find that direction? Why do you think that?
because the corporates who basically control the people, and in a generalized term, it's like a modern day slavery.
Oh, yes.
And so they're taking control of your mind, time, money, everything. And when they control that, you can't connect with your neighbors, your family, God, everything. So that's why they try to do that.
Man, you ain't lying there because I know me, like, I work at FedEx, like,
Uh-huh.
currently, like, right now. Like, I work at
Yeah.
FedEx, and I just had another guest on maybe about like an hour ago, and I was pretty much telling him that me working this job, like, the one of the best things I like about working at FedEx is, the timing. Even though I still complain
Uh-huh.
that it's early as hell, it's like, oh my goodness, it's like I'll go in anywhere between, I think it's 2:30, sometimes 3 o'clock, and sometimes 3:30 in the morning. And it's still, to me, one of the best things. I like it because even though I don't like getting up early to, go to work and stuff like that, I still could get it done. I'll be
Yeah.
done anywhere between 8:30, sometimes 8:45 in the morning, and the rest of the day is golden for me. But when and I sit down and I think about what you say, it's like a slavery type thing because it's taking away time. So even though I say, hey, it's the best, in timing wise, like I can get in the morning and, get it done. At the end of the day, it's still not doing me any good because I have to be in bed early to, get back up early. And
Uh-huh.
it just seemed like it's just taking everything away. And it's like, why? Why did I put myself through this? Why do people put themselves through this? And it's been hard to kind of juggle that. It's hard to juggle. And even though, like I said, even though I like the timing, but it's hard enough to actually just be consistent. It's hard. It's hard being consistent with, where you want to be and what you want to do. So it's it's hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
because
hard.
especially when you're like connect to the people who say one thing and then actually do another, and then
Mhm.
you just have like a dozen of them in a row, and you're like knocked down, but you're not out.
That's right, man. That's right. It's like the biggest question being like, I know a lot of people will ask this question, but it's like, how do people are able to climb out of depression? Like, it's something you really can't do, but it's like, how can you actually like find ways to, help yourself relieve yourself from depression? What do you do? What do you think you do like to climb yourself out of, you know, that darkness that you're in that time of space?
For me, I just take one moment at a time, go with the flow, and
Hmm.
think there's something here for a reason why. And once I discover that, this quote unquote negative thing is
Mm.
actually a reason why, for the greater purpose for me and everyone in general to
Yep.
go through and then help. Just
Yeah, V it. Yeah. Yep,
yeah,
totally. So like now you're South Carolina.
yeah.
Okay. Now you're in South Carolina and you got your business and and all of that. And push come to shove, you got battles of this whole depression thing. What do you think that other people feel like you being a leader? How do you combat, you know, with those issues of, you know, the depression will actually help, you know, other people? Like even in your neck of the woods of your, employees or, family and stuff like that. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I'm on fluoxetine, so that helps. In addition
Mm,
to actually positive mindset and focusing on positive of everything
hmm.
and not looking at the negative like I did pretty much my whole life.
Yeah. Did that like do you like actually see a psychiatrist or like a psychotherapist or anything?
I did, but then my job was not paying too much, and the on BetterHelp went from like $45 for an hour to almost 300 for a half hour.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. You know what? And that's the thing, because and that's the thing, because there's jobs that have benefits, right? You
Hmm.
get all the good benefits. In the corporate world, you have, what is some of the PTO and, healthcare. And you'll be able to have access to see, anybody you want to see. But the cost of these things can be exuberant. It's like it could be
Hmm.
high. It could be, it's just like now it gets to a point you're going back into the circle again. You're going back into these dark holes because the whole purpose is to have these jobs to, be able to give yourself self-care to and give access to, you for, everything. And they are just, I would say, greedy. They like to be greedy
Yeah.
and they just damn near just limit all of the, all of those things. And it could be frustrating because you have a lot going on. And at this point, it just seems like nobody really cares. It just seems like nobody cares because if they did, they would invest and put more time into this and be able to be like, okay, oh, hey, you good? You doing all right? I know that you've been going through some things and I want to be able to help you in any way. Like, if anything I could do, man, let me know. But it ain't in that case. People don't care. And this is why we're, you know, in places where we don't want to be.
Exactly. That's where I experienced so much of that directly with friends, family, neighbors, in general as a society. And I seen what's the past, the present, and the future with my purpose. And I was like, this has to be an ecosystem that everything works together and everyone works together. So that's why I started building this.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that you're doing this because we need a lot more awareness about all of this. Awareness is really out of low because we're being so suppressed on everything that we're struggling with. How does it make you feel when, you see someone that's could be going through the same thing as you and it feels like that you really can't do nothing about it? How does that make you feel? Like even before all of this, how would that make you feel?
Well, I always help people and in general
Hmm.
and as much as I can.
Hmm.
And it's very frustrating on it's like I just did this lift for someone and her car is broken down and I was like, man, I wish I could help more than just giving her a lift, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, now imagine if all these resources work together and all these people work together and not just stating empty words,
Hmm.
it would be a much better world.
I agree. I agree. And it's funny because I'll be going on Instagram, and then sometimes when I scroll, I'll
Mhm,
doom scroll, and I would I came across this video. Uh, what's his name? I think it's Spencer. I think he's the dude, the mowing company. He has his own mowing company. I forgot his last name, but I know his first name is Spencer.
uh-huh,
And I happened to come across a video where he was helping this elderly lady, clean up her yard. Grass was yay high, and there was a lot of things that she was trying to do. She was trying to have yard sales, stuff like that. I think she had just lost her husband, and she
mhm,
was having some health problems herself. But there was an Uber driver that was taking her wherever she needed to go. I think it was the store or something like that. And that's where he discovered it. And so he has sent Spencer to her house to, do all the yard work. And what ended up happening was he cleaned it up. He did everything he needed to do. He actually brought some help too. I think his dad helped, and I think that was it. And um, I think a few days later or a couple of days later, he made another video saying that he helped her with her rent because she was, I think, 3 grand in back rent, and he sold all her stuff, so he got that money. He gave it to her, and he also set up a GoFundMe for her, just to help her you know, with all of her issues that she was having. And that moment there really touched me because when you was just sharing your story, you was like, "Yeah, I wish I could go and help somebody." And because that's the same way with me. I would love if I really could go out and just help as much people as I can. I would just go above and beyond just to help. And seeing that there's nothing you can really do, but you can just do what you can to help is by far the best that you can do. But seeing that video really caught my attention and it touched me because of how people can get together and actually help, you know, one person or so many people with, things that they really need help with. That really hit me. It hit me. And that is to me like, man, if we had more people like that, I think we'll really be in a better world to, for anything. And I enjoyed that video. Like I love watching
Yeah.
because that's all he do. That's all he do. He just sets his camera up and he just his money base is really off, watching those videos and
Hmm.
um yeah, just watching videos. It's like if you just watch his videos and that's how he gets paid. So that's how he just pretty much do it. That's why he does everything for free. He does mowing stuff for free. So that's how he was able to help people. And I think
It's
that's
amazing.
it is. I thought that was very amazing. It's important that, more people like him, more people like him. If we had that, we would be in a way better situation
Hmm.
and, where we are.
Kindness is like a pebble in a pond that you throw in and it just ripples.
Yep, you gotta spread the love. You gotta spread
Uh-huh.
the awareness. And
Yeah.
and that's how a lot of people see a difference. A lot of people will see that difference. And sometimes a lot of people really can't do things the way that they want to.
Hmm.
And all you can really do is just fantasize about it, you know. And it's hard to do that because you really can't put action to it. You can't really, you know, do it. And so it's just all about just thinking about your bigger picture. And so, yeah, what you're doing, you can't go wrong with, you know, doing what you can to help other people. But how does that really make you feel knowing that you can do that though in that way? How does that make you feel?
I've never been like uh skydiving or anything like that, but it feels like you're flying freely.
Yeah. And that is yeah, and that's important. It's very important that we see that like you bring in the attention to all of the things that we are having troubles with.
Yeah.
But
Even little things like moving stuff from the on the grocery shelf up
Mhm.
further to the front that's easier to get and stuff like that. That makes a difference.
Oh, anything.
Yeah.
You could start off small.
Uh-huh.
You could do something very small. Like there's people like I know like when I was working my old job and I think it was the Goodwill. I think I was at the Goodwill when this happened. It's a small thing. It was very small too. I remember I was coming out the door and I walked up towards the register. I was looking for something. I couldn't remember what I was looking for. And as I was looking, there was a customer coming through the door And I turned around and all I did was I spoke, asked them how the day was going so far, and the customer just started talking. And by the time we got done talking, I went back to what I was doing. And I go back into the back office and I got called back up to the front. Excuse me. And it was the same customer that was looking for me. And they said, "You really made my day." Like, hardly nobody comes and speaks to me and asks me about my day. Mainly asking about my day. Like, nobody don't go and be like, "How's your day going so far?" You were the only one that did it. And I was shocked. Like, how small, like very small things can make somebody's day. And that just really shows that, people can actually go through it. Like those small types of appreciation really can help someone, rather, you know, you don't see it or I don't see it.
Hmm.
Doing things like that can really just help someone. And I was really shocked by that. Grateful, but I was very shocked by it because of how, you know, they just literally just said, "Hey, you just really made my day." Like nobody don't do this. Like people just go in, they mind their business, they go on and do their job, which is nothing wrong with, but they do their jobs and they go and check themselves out, pay, and go on about their way. But they don't take the necessary time to, check in. They don't check in. I'm like, "How you doing, man? You doing all right?" And yeah, it's been, ever since then, that's where I try to, you know, get to doing little small things, no matter what it is, big or small. But I always like to start off small.
Yeah, because once we started deconnecting,
Hmm.
deconversing with others, and that's when we started to lose our mental health.
Yeah, yeah. And how long you been doing what you've been doing? How long you been doing that?
I have started and officially incorporated in April of 2021.
Okay. And you just been off and running ever since.
Pretty much, I've been helping a neighbor and stuff like that for a few years and trying to get this off the ground because everyone I talk to is like, yeah, it's great, but we don't want to really incorporate it because it is what we say, what we do.
Right.
It's like we don't want to give you freedom and invest in you and help you out. And it's like everything that these companies and organizations say and these city officials, it's like, I'm sorry.
No,
It's
it's the truth though. Like
uh
keep speaking. It's the truth.
it's like I'm not trying to be political, but both parties work together internally to divide us on the outside.
Man. And it's yeah, we're just in trouble in this
Yeah,
point. Like we can't even find simple answers. We can't find simple answers. We're stuck sitting here asking all of the tough questions, but we're not finding the answers. Nobody's giving us nothing at all. Nobody. They'll give out answers that maybe we want to hear, but
yeah,
not the truth.
exactly.
Not the truth.
Hmm.
Like there's too much going on that we're looking at all of this stuff that's going on, and we're asking so many questions, but there's no answers. Why are we dealing with that? Why do we have to ask questions knowing that, you know, we need the truth? Like, not to get personal, but my light bill, like literally my electric bill shot up. Like I was like on time. I was cool. I was like, okay, I'm grooving and I'm feeling this. Man, I seen that spike hit. It was about $934. I said, where the hell did this come from? And we're trying to find answers. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm looking at, you know, bill by bill. I'm looking at each billing statements. I'm trying to find answers.
Yeah, that's like South Carolina here. The Dominion Energy did a rate hike, and then a couple months later, they sold out for several billion dollars.
Oh my goodness. And that's crazy. Like, and then I received an email from our local representative. I think it was Andre Carson.
Uh-huh.
And he literally, like, for the first time I've seen this, like, actually said the truth. And, he went down and was like, okay, this is the reason why, electric bills are getting shot up. And learned in the process that Donald Trump done cancel some of that funding from the energies and stuff like that, and you know whatever it is, and that's how the spike went. I was like, I went through all them statements for nothing, but at least I know the answer. Like, at least I know that part. Like, now, rather if it's, it could rather if it could be the truth, or rather if it isn't. Now, I don't know, but yes, at least I
Yeah.
understand now that that was the reason for the spike and hiking and stuff. Like, yeah, this ain't fun, man. So you spend
Yeah.
so much time trying to bring that down, and then now guess what? The pressure hits. It's like, okay, disconnect notice now. What are you gonna do? What can you do? So
You can't really do anything because in Florida we unplugged everything and the bill's still the same.
even crazier. You would think
Mhm.
if you unplug something, you'd think that not affect
Yeah.
the energy, or the electric sparks of everything. How? Yeah, that don't make sense. That don't make sense at all. It just don't. And you're sitting here you're trying to get this bill down, and you're like, okay, worst case
Yeah, they
scenario.
say they say you're in control of your bill, but you're not.
You're not.
You're
You're
just
not at
they're
all.
just trying to control you to think that so to waste your time and energy on the real truth.
And I enroll into budget billing. Why did my bill get shot up to $934?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
now how does that work? How do y'all do that? Like, that's why I was just so confused. I was like, okay, this ain't making no sense. So like,
We're we always been in a grift economy.
exactly. Yes. And look, it's not getting any better either. And this is
Nah,
why, and
it's
this is,
gotten worse.
yes.
Even before Trump,
Hmm.
and I'm not political.
Yeah.
I originally was a Democrat,
Hmm.
and then in maybe 2008, I was like, I vote for the person, not the party.
Yeah.
And then I was seeing as I discovered deeper on how each party operates and
Hmm.
stuff. And I was in the census and I worked at the poll worker a couple times.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, there's this is just too suspicious on how things work. And because my always mindset was people focused, and that's where I
Yeah.
thought the Democrats really care,
Hmm.
and the Republicans were just money focused. So that's how come I was never
Yeah.
really on that side of the coin. But then I was like,
Mhm.
there's a new version, a hybrid,
Yeah.
humanitarianism.
hmm Yeah, but then you got those ones that could be, you know, all blue, but have a red mindset.
Uh-huh.
And that can hurt too. That could definitely hurt. And now we have everything that's going on. We're sitting here as depressed, anxious, don't know what to do. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? And what's the first thing they tell us? Hey, if the first job ain't working for you, get another job. What's the other job going to do? The other job ain't going to do nothing for us because that's barely making ends meet. You know,
Hmm.
how does that happen? We're like, everybody, anybody could get two or three jobs and kill themselves in the process. And there's nothing for them to show for it because with everything so skyrocketed, it's like, okay, everybody is it's in a different state. They're gonna be like, well, I serve no purpose. And those numbers rises, right? You got suicides, you got depression, myself included, you got anxiety, and your job is not really giving you the proper benefits for, healthcare. And if you signed up locally for healthcare, it can help, but not in the way that you were really expected to help, but it'll help. And we're all sitting in that, what I call the struggle boat, because we're too busy trying to figure out everything else, and we're not even thinking about us,
Yeah,
you, me.
exactly. Because when I tried to get health insurance, I had to make $16,000 a year before I get coverage. And then when I worked at Denny's as a service assistant, that no health insurance. It's
That's crazy. Like FedEx would I make think about around anywhere between 20 to 24,000 a year. And I have I'm part-time. So what happens is that you have to have worked a certain amount of hours to qualify for benefits. But if you don't make that number, you don't get access to any of the benefits.
yeah,
I
and
understand.
a lot of employers just keep you at that amount.
Exactly. Ooh, excuse me. I understand it,
Hmm.
but it ain't fair. Like,
Yeah.
I seen I don't even know if it's happening anymore, but there was a former baseball player. I forgot his name. I think it's Andrew something. I forgot his name. He used to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he was okay at first, and then I guess he fell off through the cracks. He had mental issues, and the Dodgers always re-signed him every year after his contract was up, just for him to keep the benefits of his health insurance.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Wow.
I talked about that. I think it was a couple of years back. I talked about that, and I felt that was very important. That's how much people would show that they care about someone, and that was a prime example of it. And I don't even know if they do it now still. I wouldn't be surprised if they did because that just seems like the general norm for the Dodgers, so to speak, to actually do that for him. I wouldn't be surprised if that was still happening. But at that time, yes, they was literally signing a contract. They will sign him into a contract just to keep his health benefits. He didn't play, and he hasn't played since. I think it was 2018, 2019. He hasn't played since that time. And I think as of like 2022, he was still signing contracts just to keep his health insurance. I thought that was the best thing ever. I said, yeah, this is
Yeah,
what it's all about. That's,
exactly.
if you
And too many people are thinking of self.
no,
This is
no,
totally opposite.
it is. It's and that really blew my mind because it's like something happens, they'll look at you and be like, okay, you're on your own. You're on your own. Like, there's nothing we could really do. You'll be a liability at this point. And that situation really reminded me of Delonte West. He was a former basketball player. He fell
Mhm.
through the cracks. And at one point, Mark Cuban actually paid his own money to get, I think some help and some treatments for him. And it worked for a while, but then he fell right back down again and relapsed. I think he was addicted to alcohol and I think drugs. I think it was cocaine or something
Mhm.
like that. And he relapsed after he did good. He relapsed again, but Mark Cuban didn't help him. So it was basically like, okay, you're on your own. But then I don't know what happened. Delonte just actually picked himself up and he's tried again and he's been sober ever since. So sometimes it really has to take someone to help you and to let you fall back down to wake up and say, hey, party time is over, man. Like, you got to face reality to what's going on. I think he has kids too. So that makes it even more crazier that, he had to put himself through that. So even though now that I think he's sober, that I last read, he's sober and he's getting his life back together, it's good that he recognized it and not, you know, get himself through the cracks again and relapse. So yeah, I mean, it could take that much to, see that people can care for you. But if you don't take advantage of what's being cared for you, it can easily be gone in a matter of seconds.
Exactly.
And I think most people should realize that, but don't because they get stuck in their head. There's a lot of things that you can't control. There's really a lot of things you just cannot control. What's going on in your brain and all of that, you can't. But everybody would know that when they see that type of trouble, it's up to them if they either going to either help themselves or they just going to stay stuck in that same way. And yeah, it's hard to think about. It's hard to think about when people hit rock bottom and they just can't get themselves up because of, what they did. It's hard. It's extra
Yeah.
hard.
Because a lot of times it's something internally, medically wrong, and some is just shuttering out the outside world. So, I
Hmm.
mean, it's tough to decipher on.
Yeah. And that's tough. Like it's really tough to see because I know that me going through, depression and anxiety, and this is based off of um relationships. Like I get real defeated when, I lose in a relationship. I'll lose and, you know, at that point, I feel like, damn, yeah, I'm weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm just weak because of, you know, what I let happen because I just like to help people so much and they take advantage of it. And I always looked at myself as a weak person, but I knew that, at the end of the day, I wasn't that person, but I knew I had to tighten my grip a little bit because if I let people continue to take advantage of me, I'm going to continue to be stuck. Like right now, I could be sitting on my bed and wouldn't even bother to get up at all because of what I dealt with. And that is something that later in life that I know I wouldn't want to deal with that again. And even though that it's hard to control that, the thought's still there. Like, I only want to get up. Now I got to have a reason to get up. And what's my reason to getting up? I have a 5-year old. I have a 5-year old daughter. Only reason why I get up. The only reason I get up to, attack the day. And I know that if I didn't show that, example of just pushing through and showing, my little girl that, I don't want to be that type of person, then she could very well take the same effect just by looking at me. And that's why it's like, yeah, you just got to find reasons to get up. You just got to find reasons. And yeah, I gotten to that point that I knew I had to get better. I knew I had to get better because if I didn't get better, I don't like saying it, but I would have been
Yeah.
on suicide. I'm just gonna say it like, yeah, I'll be on suicide. And no, I don't want that. I can't
No.
have that. I just can't.
Getting up for your daughter is the best reason.
Absolutely. Man, I like, you know, I still get texts from her and sometimes she'll call me and, like those are the things that really, fills me up. I don't care
Yeah.
about nothing else.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
many people lost sight of enjoying the moment
yeah,
and the little things that are actually more bigger than what we shine the light on.
yes. Like, yeah, it's like I deal with so much, and it's like sometimes I don't even care about those. I don't care about that. I don't care about nothing. But the minute I see my daughter's name, the minute I see that, that just changed the whole momentum in me. It just changes. And it's just like, okay, you know, she'll spend the weekends with me like even though Friday are my hardest days, it
Mm.
literally my hardest days from, working and then doing this and everything else in the sun, but going to get her, it just changes the whole momentum. Even though I'll be up all day, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
try my best to keep up and, you know, and spend that quality time that I need to spend. Like that's all I really care about. That's important to me. That's important to me. So I can't even I couldn't even actually argue about nothing else. Like I
Mhm.
just couldn't. Like she's my only reason at this point. Like anything
Oh.
else. Yeah, I get like she's been my everything, man. Like just watch her grow up. Literally, just watching her grow up and just, you know, just, learning everything.
Hmm.
It's been a hell of an experience. Just being a dad just been the biggest blessing for me because she's just growing up. She's just
And
growing up.
time flies so quick before you
Yeah.
know it. It's like 5, 10 years later.
mm mm. Yeah, I'm gonna protest when she turns 10. Like, you can't have this.
No.
I'll be up there with signs. Nope, she's not 10. She's not 10. You protest. Yeah, that's gonna
We
kill
can
me.
turn back an hour. Let's
Yeah.
turn back 10 years.
Yeah, man. I enjoy those moments, man. You don't have any kids, do you?
No.
No. Yeah. Like, the right person, right times. Yeah, I thought it was important, but yeah, I'm just gonna ask you this one last question and we can wrap this up. Uh what would you tell someone who feels stuck today?
Good question. Just look at the bright side of everything and
Mhm.
go with the flow and find the reason why it's occurring because it's not negative. Everything is a positive.
Yeah, I know that with you, you like there are moments that, it could be the battle of the mood swings. Like there's 1 minute that you're feeling great. You're like you get up in the morning and be like, "Oh man, I feel great. Like I can go out and, attack the world like how I want to." But then you get to the middle part of the day, something just changes.
Yeah. Uh,
Something just changes, you know? And it changes because of what I call the feeling. It's a feeling. Put a you can't put it to pen to paper, but you know it's something. Because that this morning you was fine, you was feeling great, and now all of a sudden it's like this shift and change. And it don't even have to really be the depression. It really don't have to be that. It don't have to be anxiety, but it's something there that really just kind of altered your mood. And that's how I'll be feeling sometimes. And
mhm.
because because it'd be like I was just fine literally this morning. Like, how did this happen? He's like, how did this happen? Like, why did this happen to me? I was feeling so great. And now all of a sudden, just the mood changes, and it's just like, I really don't care no more. I don't care. And
And then
yeah,
later on, you're like back into it's like a pendulum swing. I think there's more to astrology and everything than what we realize. I haven't really dug into that and
yeah,
learned about that, but from what I experienced and researched and felt, I think there is something.
yeah, it could. I wouldn't rule past it. Like, there could be, um, I think there could be like I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to think of a word I wanted to use. I think it just has a way of coming around. Like I know I haven't really learned a lot about it. Like I think I had a book on astrology, and it might be an ebook. And I've only read it like once or twice, maybe three times since I've gotten the book. And I've gotten the book, I think it was 2019, I think. Oh, maybe 2017, as a matter of fact. And I only read like my astrology and some other people's astrology, and I just put the book up and never read it again. But it's yeah, it could be, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain that because it's sometimes they can speak honesty, but then there's also like different versions, I would
Hmm.
say. It'd be
Yeah.
like different versions of what that is. And they could be, oh God, you could say anything really because of how deep now and how more famous it's gotten since people has really gotten into it. And yeah, I don't, I haven't really dug that deep because there's like financial sides of it. There's like relationship sides to it, birth signs to it. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, dude. It's like, how do you keep up with this? Like, you look at the relationship side of it, and then you keep on scrolling or keep on looking at other things, and you see the another side to it, rather if it's money or you know work. It could be anything. And like I said, it could be honest.
Yeah,
It could be an honest worth of work, but you know,
exactly.
it
But
could be
I don't know because I had that too. I'm good in the morning, then afternoon, it's like I don't have like the lack of coffee sluggish thing.
right,
It's
right.
something that you
It's
can't really say.
like, and some people will really like have a moment like
Yeah.
they have the coffee and they
Uh-huh.
crash.
Yeah.
They'll crash, and yeah, and when they crash, that's when things take that alternate turn. That's why sometimes some people, not
Hmm.
all, would actually not have any. They'll have different alternatives to kind of help with their moods or whatever. And yeah, there's people that can have more sugar than coffee and wonder why they ain't feeling 100% or if they feel it different. That right there is different because of what you do. And see, I'm a cappuccino guy, so a cup for me would be good and I would be okay. Then like it give you like jitters, like a little bit of jitters, not exactly anxiety, but little jitters. And I have those moments too, but it's not to a point where, I'm freaking out or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. It's one of
And I
those.
noticed what helped with me. I'm taking days off every so often
Yes, yes,
and just nap sometimes.
yes,
It's like you're not being lazy, you're being productive.
exactly. Self-care.
Self-care is
Self-care
important.
is
Uh-huh.
very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what most people don't understand. It's like if you're if you're working so hard to a point where it's taking a mental toll of you. You don't even have to be physically tired. You could be mentally tired.
Yeah, that's
And
a lot. Because
yes,
I figured out that when you're mentally tired, you're like way more tired than physically tired.
exactly. And that's where it's like that's where, like you said, you go, take time off or call off or, take those naps. And that's why I know I have to like, I need to work on taking more naps because, like I said, I'll be up for a long time. So trying to get those power naps in and you actually doing that type of self care is by far like the smartest thing any person can do because somebody could actually, you can actually look at somebody right now and they'll be like, I can't take no days off because I can't afford it. Like, hell, the way the world is right now, you ain't really got much of a choice. So just go on and just do some self care and see how you feel the next day. Because if you continue to, put yourself through that cycle of that pressure, it may not end well for you. So you might as well give yourself the self care that you feel like that you deserve. Listen to that music or take that nap, take that day off, see how you feel.
Yeah,
Your body will thank you for it.
exactly.
Your body will
And
thank you for it.
when you do that more frequently, you're gonna see it more change.
Yes. And that's frustrating because so most people don't see that. Most people just think that you push through. If you push through, then everything will probably be okay. Nah, your body will tell you because it'll force
Yeah.
you. It'll
Uh-huh.
force you.
Yeah.
So
There are
if you
times where it's like, really? I didn't mean to fall asleep.
Yep, I've had that couple of times too. Like you have no intent of doing
Uh,
it.
uh,
Like I know, like when I was going to go get my daughter a few years back, I came home from work. I told my brother, I was like, "Whew, I'm glad to be home. You know, take a nice hot shower, and then I'm gonna lay down for a few minutes before I go and get a Leo. I'm just gonna lay down for a few minutes." After I got the shower done, and yeah, I got into that bed. It was comfortable.
uh-huh.
I slipped under. I think it was about close to 5 o'clock. I got in that bed, and I was supposed to have gotten there at about 7-ish, 7:30. I didn't get up to about 10:30 at night,
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not mean to do this. I
Uh-huh.
didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
So I had to text her mom. I was like, man, I'm just now waking up. I'll be there in a minute.
Uh-huh.
She's like, you don't have to come. Nah, I gotta come.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate you,
Okay.
man.
Okay. All right.